I could pull a better podcast out of my head. Hey, kids, welcome to the Tempest Universe.
China.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
It's China to me, China.
Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside.
China.
This is the Tempest Universe, man. Hold on to your ass. You're in for a hell of a ride.
At this very moment, I am surrounded by puppy farts. I don't know what the heck is wrong with Bugs, but he literally has been gassing me up for the last hour straight. He had one that squeezed out, really slowly, just horrifically for like a good 30 seconds. And he finally woke up when that one snuck out. But for the love of God, somebody please tell me how to plug this up. Welcome to the Tempest Universe. I'm your host, Manny, and it's Monday. We made it to Monday. We are here on Monday, and it's usually the worst day of the week by far. It really is. It is horrific. But, this Monday hasn't been so bad. And I'm sure there's some of you out there who has suffered a catastrophic Monday, because that's the way it is. That's the way it just happens, man. Mondays are just, you take 2 days, and that's only the guys that are able to relax 2 days. No one that I know can relax on those 2 days off. Whatever day it is, whether it's during the week or just the weekend, it's impossible just to relax. Life just keeps happening, and it is absolutely nuts all the damn time. But nonetheless, we got some stuff to talk about today. We are going to, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like there's this upsurgence of people being extremely confident that there's going to be some serious UFO nonsense going down in 2022. Mind you, we're already in February. We've lost it a whole entire month, actually 5 damn weeks. But there are folks out there who are loving the idea that 2020 is going to be it. We're going to be catching some shit in 2020. We've lost 38 days so far. We ain't got shit. Not a single damn thing. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Antarctica. And really, the article itself is short because you got to go watch the video. It's a YouTuber. I swear I've seen this guy somewhere else. I don't know if one of the Asgardians knows him or something like that, but I think it is. I think that's what the deal is. But still, I get it. You got to bring some views. But, as they say, hashtag FFS, come on, get over yourself. Get more stuff to talk about, to be honest. But the first thing I got to do, I got to play a track. And this, thanks to Green Man and his genius when it comes to the music that gets played on the podcast. Because, everybody loves it. But I felt this connection to Putin today. I am I don't know, if I say this, would the NSA get me? Because they're about 3 miles away from me. Maybe I am a Russian empathizer or something like that. I don't know what it is. But I feel like the Russians, first of all, the entire country is cold as hell. So you've got to be mean. You got to be pissed off all the time, right? Because you're cold. There was a video I saw over the weekend, minus 67 degrees. At the coldest place in Russia. There is no life there. And, you could still hear the kids out playing around in the snow. For fuck's sake. How can you hate them? Seriously, there was one point where there was it wasn't a deer. It was some other deerish animal. But you couldn't tell what it was. His face, or her face, completely covered in ice and snow. Eyes, mouth, and everything. And it was just standing there frozen with his head stuck to the damn a road. And it looked like it died on the spot, just froze to death. And the guy walked up to it, and sure enough, damn thing took off, barely holding his head up, and he only went about 30 feet, and his head was too heavy. But what I'm trying to say is, you can't be hating on Russia so much. Come on. For my 8 listeners in Russia, there you go. Spread the word. Hashtag me. And then let's go to the other 6 listeners in Ukraine. I mean, come on. Still the same thing, Can you be pissed off at them? Mother Russia is always trying to take you back. Come on. So this first song is going to be about making that peace between Putin and the rest of the Baltic nations. All of you guys together. Just be good. Just be good. But this is for you guys, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about some madness. And I know there's a few guys that are in there in the the live chat who are going to love this. And if you're live on Spreaker on Mondays and Wednesdays, you can see the craziness they put on there. I can't read out most of the stuff. Otherwise, we'd have an extra hour on the podcast of all the craziness that they talk about in there. So check this out. Peace be to Mother Russia. Now let's get on with it. Let's be honest. If you were taking an unscheduled break and that song came on, people would see you tapping your feet away from under the door. So you know that was a good song. Come on, just admit it. A great time to be alive, according to a UK investigator who believes 2022 is going to be a seismic year for UFOs. Talk about not being politically correct there, Popette. Like really, Seismic, did you see all the shit that's going on in Tonga Hunga Hunga Hapaya? Yeah. People don't want to know about seismic events. Come on, be a little bit more sensitive in the shit that you say. This is Nick Pope, of course. We had a story about him last week. And now this week, he's back at it again. By the way, the picture for this particular episode is the, his freaking high school graduation picture. I don't know what it is. But it's Nick Pope. The funny thing is that Nick Pope has so many different looks. Like he's got the real tall hair look, like back in the 80s. And then he's got the barely any hair or the oiled back hair where it just goes back like he's in a wind tunnel permanently. So there's all these kind of looks. So I got the one that was kind of like in between, right? Almost the high top with a lot of gray, which he's a bit more distinguished in that one. But Nick Pope says this is it. 2022, we are going to see some earth-shaking, earth-shattering, unidentified aerial phenomena news, or even the other term, which we really don't care too much for, anomalous aerial vehicles. What the hell is an anomalous? Stop screwing around with the damn names. The Pentagon's just trying to freaking screw people over and really get them confused. But anyway, here's what he says. Nick Pope believes that we're going to see a lot of congressional hearings on UFOs. He says that the military themselves are going to release more photos and videos of UFOs if they're not stolen by someone, and even documents. There's one point here which I believe, of everything that he says in the whole entire article or interview, the only part that I like is this. And he says that some of this information might come from whistleblowers and might even come from things that the government's going to release proactively because of FOIA requests. That's the only thing about the whole damn article I like. And that's the one that I hope really happens. And that is that we get whistleblowers. Yeah, and these are military folk or government folk who decide they can't take it anymore. They could feel their heart rate, their high pressures going through the roof because they got this secret, like the cat that ate the canary, that they want to let loose. And so they buy themselves a whistle and they blow it. And out comes all the info, the top secret stuff, the stuff you're not supposed to know. Now, there's a lot of times that we get whistleblowers who are questionable on so many levels, and maybe their mental state is what made them a whistleblower, and they probably cannot be trusted. But still, the idea that we can get whistleblowers out of 2022, 2023 that can actually give you credible evidence that can be validated in one way or another is really what I'm looking forward to. All the other stuff, FOIA requests, nobody gives no F's about FOIA requests anymore. They play with you too much. And you're probably going to get the one person who has an entire box of about 250 black markers behind them, and they're going to put that shit to good use. And they'll take months in order to go through all the paperwork, and there's your FOIA request. A bunch of nothing. On the other side of things, we have, in the same article, Leonard David, who is the author of the book titled Moon Rush, The New Space Race. Now, you get a title like that. Like, if I was going through the library and I was going to get a title like that, I was like, oh, it's a bunch of historical nonsense, a bunch of science. We got a bunch of math in there talking about, the arc of the tangent of the rocket as it farts through the stratosphere. And you're not going to want to read a book like that. But this guy, he's one of us, I got to say. Because he is arguing that there are concerted efforts to explore UFOs that are going to happen this year. This guy here, Leonard David, he says it's a great time to believe, not to believe, but to be alive. I don't know. That's questionable, especially on a Monday. Because the bottom line is something's coming. You can't have that many people doing that much research and come up dry. Leonard, you apparently do not know much about UFO history. Yeah, you will come up dry. and you'll probably grab yourself some of the vase and go back in and still come up dry. Anyway, he says that at some point we're going to have a confluence of scientific data that supports the likelihood that we're a pretty mundane place here on Earth, and there is a lot of alien civilizations there in the universe. We got to start thinking about we're not alone. I don't think we ever stop thinking that we're not alone. We just can't find nobody in the neighborhood. Where the hell is Mr. Rogers? The purple alien is about 2 feet tall. Where is his ass at? What part of the galaxy is he in? I'm sorry, I just don't know. But it is a fantastic idea to think that this will be the year. But we get that every year. Every year, the first quarter of the year, everybody comes out and they're happy. This is going to be the year. This is going to be disclosure. This is going to be it's going to be the year where it all breaks through. We're going to lobby this person. We're going to lobby that person. And you get basically a big red stamp and it spells out dick. That's all you get. You don't get nothing more than that. So, some people have taken it upon themselves to try to make things happen, but it's momentary. It's like a wave. It's all it is. We get this wave. Oh, this video came out. Got a wave. Oh, that government person said this. And so, the wave builds a little bit, but then it's gone, waiting for the next wave. Or, if you want to use the Nick Popet terms, for the next earthquake. So, that's what you're waiting for. The next event, earth-shattering event, that's going to bring you information from some insider somewhere. But I don't know. I don't think 2022 is going to be the year for this. I don't think it is. I think the fact that we're already in February and nothing significant has happened, there hasn't been any hearings and stuff like that. Nobody gives a shit about that in Congress. I mean, come on. If they have a hearing, it'll be closed door. No one's going to really be allowed to get information out of it. So, 2022 is not going to be it. There's going to have to be a significant leak somewhere to where, Congress is going to have to run back into their little offices, put down their cigars and all that other good stuff, and run into their office and try to figure out why they missed it. Why did this get leaked? Why did this get leaked during the time that all these agencies were apparently putting together a UFO report? That's going to be the headliner. That's the one that's going to sell things for us. Anyway, there's more in the article regarding what Leonard David and Nick Popet had to say. And literally for you guys who don't know who Nick Popet is, he was a UK MOD closet jockey from about 20 floors below the surface level, who sat in a little room to review UFO reports from the public at large and came up dry. He needs the vase. I'm telling you, that's who should have it. Check this out. right, so this next article is about our, I want to call him the godfather of ufology. This is who he is now, Avi Loeb. And we had that book contest. By the way, I still have a book left. And I got to figure out a way to get rid of this book for someone out there. Maybe we can get Bugs to autograph it and not gas it. But, I mean, it could be a scratch and sniff for you guys. I don't know. Avi Loeb, so he how could I say, Galileo project. So we know what he's going to do, right? Going to have all these satellites and telescopes all looking for UFOs in our space around the planet. And they had a news conference. So I've got a 9-minute clip of the news conference and for you guys to listen to. But there is a hum in the audio. Initially, I put it in there, right? Because, for certain reasons, kind of like an effect. But it's terrible. But I didn't have enough time to correct it. So you will still be able to make out what Captain Loeb had to say and his cohorts, too. There is, I want to say, over 100 scientists that are going to take part of this Galileo project. So it's not a small effort at all. Like I said before last week, it is fantastic that finally somebody's thinking about using the technology that's in the sky, technology that's on the ground, to actually look for this stuff and, try to get some info. So check this out and we'll come back and talk about it.
A couple of weeks ago, there was a paper published in Nature Astronomy magazine by a philosopher trying to argue why Oumuamua cannot be of artificial origin. And to me, it was a repetition of the mistake made by philosophers back in the days of Galileo. The point is, we should not argue philosophically about this. We should collect enough data to tell us the difference between a rock and an artificial object. And that's the aim of the Galileo project without prejudice. Let's just monitor our sky, not rely on military personnel or government-owned sensors. Let's look at it just like astronomers look at distant objects. The only difference is when a bird flies above a telescope, astronomers dismiss it, right? Or just ignore it. Here, we will focus on objects that are moving in the sky at a high speed and try to figure out their nature.
So I would add to that, that I'm very glad you asked that, Faye, because indeed there are so many people are implicitly, and maybe not even noticing, they say, oh, there might be life on an exoplanet, or we might find a microbe on Mars. I don't know that we will. And then we just jump to extraterrestrial civilizations. And the difference in probabilities a priori is astronomical. So many, many, many orders of magnitude. Which is why we are not at all, listen to us carefully, we are not jumping to any conclusions. We're not making extraordinary claims. We are saying, for something that important and that has been of considerable interest to not only science, but essentially everyone, why has there been no systematic scientific search? There have been retroactive searches, looking at old observations, interviewing witnesses, of value, but of limited value, in our opinion. We think there needs to be, we need to look through these new telescopes and look at the data agnostically. We're not predicting that we will find one or the other. We will undoubtedly, that'll be the dual benefit, right? Explain a lot of UAPs, and we will be much better prepared when pretty frequently, now that we look for them, there will be interstellar visiting objects, probably most of them of natural, maybe all of them of natural origin, but we should next time have much better data much earlier and maybe land on them or get very, very close to them. So we're not there. One last thing that I would like to say, because very often it's sort of a false dichotomy that's being raised. To make extraordinary claims, you need extraordinary evidence. I've heard that a lot, and it's helpful, but it is also not helpful. We're not making extraordinary claims, first of all, and then second of all of those advocating for extraordinary evidence before they look through these telescopes, I think that's misguided. I think we should look and dare to look through new telescopes and agnostically record and interpret the data according to the scientific method.
Okay, well, we have a lot of other questions here, and I want to make sure we get to as many as possible. I mean, sometimes I think there's a rule that the more extraordinary a claim would be of true, the less likely it is to be true. And I'm going to start with Seth Bornstein at AP. He asked, is any of this peer-reviewed in legitimate scientific journals, and will this be? And he does bring up the extraordinary thing. He says, aren't you jumping to conclusions here and not nearly measuring up to the Sagan standard of extraordinary claims requiring extraordinary proof? Essentially, if this were anyone other than you saying this, would we pay attention, and why should we pay attention? I think that's a good question, because a lot of the press has been about the fact that you're from Harvard, and people say, oh, they're from Harvard. If you had been from a smaller school, would people be paying attention? I'm not sure.
Well, to that, I would just say that if an important soccer player, kicks a goal for a team that pays that soccer player a lot, that doesn't mean the goal was not quite significant, But at any event, coming back to the original question, with respect to the extraordinary statement, my point is that often scientists have made self-fulfilling prophecies, in the sense that, we will not look into this until we have the extraordinary evidence, but then it's not being funded. So look, for example, at the search for dark matter. We don't know what most of the matter in the universe is. And it's, quite humbling, because we get paid as cosmologists, but we don't know what most of the matter is. And for 4 decades, hundreds of millions of dollars were invested in experiments to search for specific types of particles, like weakly interacting massive particles. It was a search in the dark. We didn't know that such a particle exists. And indeed, we put very tight limits. So far, we haven't found it. But that's part of the mainstream scientific activity. And what I'm saying is, searching for technological relics is not more speculative, because we know that we exist. We know that other planets might have similar conditions. Let's just go out and look. But if you say, I need extraordinary evidence before I engage in this activity, then you will never find it, because you are not investing enough funds. Only after $1.1 billion were invested by the National Science Foundation in LIGO, only then we crossed the threshold of detecting gravitational waves. And without that investment, we wouldn't find it. So imagine the scientific community saying, we don't want to invest funds in searching for gravitational waves because, we haven't found any evidence for that yet. That doesn't make... So what I say is, extraordinary conservatism leads to extraordinary ignorance. And fortunately here, we got the private sector, which is quite imaginative and visionary, contributing funds to this project. And so we can move forward and get the data. And we will rely on the data, on the evidence, because I was asked once, how do I define an intelligent culture, an intelligent civilization? It's a civilization or a culture that is cooperating and sharing evidence-based knowledge. And the key here is evidence-based knowledge, not knowledge that keeps us in our comfort zone, not knowledge that justifies our prejudice. It's knowledge that is based on evidence, and the key is to find the evidence. And the only way to find the evidence is by observing the sky, rather than saying, we know the answer, it's very unlikely, let's forget about it.
Okay, well, I'm going to move on to the next question, though I would say that the difference with LIGO is that the gravitational waves were predicted by a very strong theory, the theory of relativity, whereas the idea that there are spaceships is not predicted by that sort of a strong theory. But
if I may add on that point, only fairly recently have we discovered so many exoplanets. Now we know that on average there's at least one exoplanet around every star. That's changing our worldview. We did not know that, maybe 10 years ago or more than that. That's a big new piece of information. With that, life, just basic life, probably has become much more probable, perhaps ubiquitous elsewhere. And then it's a long jump to intelligence life, but that is certainly a change that has triggered this. Before we knew that there were exoplanets and interstellar objects that our present science cannot satisfactorily explain, there is reasons for increased curiosity now rather than 2 decades ago or 50 years ago. So keep that also in mind.
Okay. I don't
One
think-
last point, Faye, just to emphasize, the public is extremely interested in this question, and the public funds science. And my point is, if we get engaged in this subject through the mainstream scientific activity, we will attract more funds to science. We will attract young people to science because it will be exciting. And in my view, we can do it with the current instruments. So why push back and avoid addressing this important question?
By the way, that was Avi Loeb there at the very end, in case you were wondering, the accent, battle of the accents. But, you know, he makes a point. Science is funded by the public. The public has the interest. Why the hell are we being so hard-headed about it and not investigating? What I really liked about what Avi Loeb also said is we don't need extraordinary evidence to go in and search for extraordinary situations. It's like, you know, back the hell up. Back the hell up. How more extraordinary do you need an observation to be about a UFO before you get in there and do something about it? I mean, this is just Carl Sagan just fucked everybody's mind up. That's all he did. He really did. He mind fucked the whole UFO community, and so now everybody's like, we need extraordinary evidence. No, we don't. And this is a matter of science, right? That's probably the only thing that came out that was fantastic about Oumuamua and that nasty government UFO report is that, you know, Avi Loeb from the beginning has been saying, you need to get scientists involved. Stop screwing around. Leave the pooch alone and go and investigate this scientifically. And then, of course, the UFO report that came out of the United States government, you know, last June, it was written by the 12th graders failed to graduate like 6 times. You know, that one was in there a point that says we need to get science involved. That is the truth, right? We may not like all the scientists, right? Because some of them are rigid and they are stuck to their beliefs no matter what the hell the evidence is, no matter how many times it repeats itself. They are rigid in their belief, in their theories, and they will not move. But Avi has got himself quite the group, over 100 of them, that are willing to move. And even in that 9-minute clip, there was still some back and forth going on here in between them. And they said it clearly. It wasn't Avi. Avi didn't say this, but the other guy said it. He's like, we're not going to jump in here and be like, oh, every interstellar object is a alien weapon. No, we're not. No, we're going to look at this. We're going to look at it scientifically, but we have an open mind. We literally are not going to go in there like some crazed Poindexter that only believes in the theory of relativity only and nothing else. No, we're going to go in there. We're going to see. We're going to test. Okay, hey, maybe we can get people to fund some money to do some science and land a craft or two on something that is coming from 4.2 far, not in our solar system. You know, these are the conversations that they're having thanks to the Galileo project. Now, the reason why this whole thing came together, why I started looking for info updated on Galileo, is because this article says that we could see a high-resolution image of a UFO within 2 years. The article is alluding to the Galileo project, the fact that Avi has all these plans, all these telescopes, all these satellites that he wants to pretty much commandeer for the Galileo project in order to take these images. That's where it's going. And I just happened to stumble across their announcement about the Galileo project that's on YouTube. If you want to see, I think it's almost 90 minutes, the whole entire thing, because the public is there, and so they're taking questions from different people in the public. So the link is in the description if you want to see the video in its entirety. He does present the entire program, what it's about, and then he takes questions. But is it possible that when you have things like audio sensors, radio sensors, infrared cameras, magnetometers rolling 24/7 from all parts of the planet, is it possible that you will catch a UFO? There's no doubt about it. And I like the fact that Avi is, putting it all out there. But I also like the fact, like I said, he's got a support group. There are people who are involved in this that are the guys with the pocket protectors or the thick glasses and the crazy accents So people are interested in this. There's a lot of science people who are interested in this, and they don't mind having their name published on the Project Galileo website. That's also a thing if you want to check that out. It's linked in the video's description if you want to go in there and see who's on it and see what they've produced so far. So is it possible that there will be a high-resolution image within 2 years? Very possible, I think. Coming from Avi's team, not very, slightly possible. I kind of feel that eventually our military folks who are dealing with UFOs, they're the ones who are going to release that high-image photo. That's where we'll get it from. Now, could it be? Yeah, listen, I give Avi and the crew about a 60% chance that they will catch a high-image UFO picture within maybe like 4 years. And the reason I say that is because it's a slow start. The first I don't know, was a telescope that's going to be opened up to this is going to be at Harvard, but it's not going to happen until this summer. So, Hav, buddy, you already, that puts you about 6 months, 7 months behind. So, yeah, I don't see you getting that picture done within 2 years. That's basically my stance on that. But I love the project. I think it's fantastic. I think people should get behind Avi Loeb's Galileo project and try to support it any way you can, even if it's just promoting it to the people that that are interested in it but may not be hearing about it. So there you go. Like I said, I apologize for the background noise on it, but still very informative. And check out the link. Sit back one day. You probably can't do this. This might be the YouTube video for Project Galileo. It's probably like a 5-6 shitter video. So don't let your legs go numb to the point where you can't back to your desk. Just go ahead and break it up into sessions. Thank you.
don't fucking scream at me.
Where's
you
the
dumb
money?
Fuck you. Look at you with your fucking 48% body fat.
UFO crash site in Antarctica discovered on Google Maps feeds alien-based conspiracy theories. Oh, come on. Really? I can't. These are really tough for me, right? Because the one person that comes to mind is pareidolia Pete Scott C. Waring. You know, the guy who spends hours upon hours looking through, you know, Google Maps, pictures from NASA, and all that wild stuff. I mean, come on. There can't be more people like him. But there is. There is. So apparently there's a video by one YouTuber, Mr. MBB333. And I know I've seen his name somewhere. I've seen it somewhere. But Mr. MBB was going through some of this Google Maps stuff, and he found what he believes is a crashed UFO in the snow. Yeah, you know how many of these we've seen over the years thanks to Google Maps? There's been so many. Now, of course, there are locations that a lot of conspiracy theories come out of when it comes to UFOs that people say UFOs become really prevalent in, such as volcanoes, the moon, underwater, and of course, Antarctica. As I mentioned earlier, the other individual that is infamous and famous for stating that Google Maps, that their satellites continue to capture crashed UFOs in Antarctica, is Scott C. Waring. But none of this ever pans out. None of this ever goes anywhere. My thing is this. Let's just be clear about this. You got folks. Now, Mr. MBBB333, he actually has a pretty good following on YouTube. And the link is in the description if you want to check out his discovery. You might be into it. And then Scott C. Waring also has a pretty good following, I think. I mean, by now he should have. There's a lot of people that believe these kind of conspiracies. You know, there's like a hole on the South Pole that goes right into Antarctica, and there's a whole damn civilization in there. But the thing is that, you know, folks like Mr. MBB333 and Scott C. Waring, who always say that these images are 100% proof that these things really exist in Antarctica. With all the followers you guys have, with all of the support that you get, you two guys can really get together and get your asses to Antarctica. Go down, fly down to the southern tip of Argentina, grab yourself a boat, and get your ass to Antarctica, and find out from yourself. You'll get the money. I don't think it'll be that expensive, to be honest. I don't think it'll be that expensive. If you could at least get some of your folks to give you like maybe $1 or $2 a piece to send you to videotape these places in Antarctica. I mean, come on, why not? You don't gotta go when the shit is like as cold as hell. You just go during the warmer months, if there's such a thing in Antarctica. Just go out there and find out for yourself. You pinpointing it. You've got the coordinates. How hard could it be? You know, I can understand if people have these conspiracies about the moon. Well, you can't really go there, especially the dark side. Well, you're 4.25 fucked in that case, because you're looking at something you're not going to get to. But if you're saying that there is a base off the coast of California, you're saying there's a base off the coast on the East Coast somewhere down in the Bermuda Triangle, there's another base out in Antarctica, there's one in Alaska, just go to it. Like there was even at one point, there was during the Gulf War, you know, there was a conspiracy theory that there was a base in Iran, between Iran and Iraq. Okay, and so that's why, you know, the military got involved, the United States got involved because they were trying to get to that base. And another one was that there was the Ark was there. What the hell? If that's the case, get your happy ass on a plane and go over there and find out. If it really matters to you. Like I would think that if I were making claims constantly about, let's say, even the bases off the coast of California, charter a boat. It's not that expensive. Charter a boat. If you cannot freaking dive, take a lesson for a month or two. Get your ass down there and look for yourself. What's so hard about it? Just do it. It just bugs me. But Mr. BBB333, the link to his video is in the article if you want to check it out and see what he's talking about. I would imagine most people are not going to go there. Only because, you know, again, it's not in deep space. It's right here on our planet. If you're going to make claims like this and say that it's 100% proof of aliens, then guess what? You don't even need to chase aliens anymore. You found them. Put your money where your mouth is and go get it. Go get you some. Basically, go get yourself a good, nice cold probing down in Antarctica. But they won't do that because they know that what they're looking at is nothing but fuel for clickbait to get more views. That's all it is. It's stuff like that. It drives me insane. But, you know, if you want to look at the video and check it out, if you are familiar with Mr. MBB333, like, pick a better name. I don't get it. What the hell does that mean? Check it out. One more article to go, and then we'll call it quits for a Monday. One more song for you guys right now.
Young niggas ain't reckless, go gold in my soul, got the same on my necklace, bitch.
This last story has to do with Christopher Mellon. I got old scars related to Christopher Mellon, to be honest. I just can't let go. Sometimes you meet people in your life that can't let go of shit. I'm one of them. I'll be honest with you. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm telling you the truth. The former deputy assistant of director of defense. I don't know if that's a real title anymore. Who knows? But Christopher Mellon, he says this. It's aliens. That's it. Drop the mic. Walk away, Chris. My problem with Chris is, so Chris had joined Two Stars Academy. You know, he was part of the, Fab Five, the original Two Stars Academy crew. And I would never forget it to this day. Christopher Mellon is out in that news conference for Two Stars Academy to introduce Two Stars Academy to the world. And he's standing in front of a UFO that's right to his, I think it was over to his left. And he says, look at this technology. Do you think we do this technology? Something to that effect. It's got to be aliens. And literally, it was a Mylar balloon which was debunked in the UK, but it looked like it was in the shape of a penis, the Mylar penis. If you look back at the UFO Buster Radio episodes, you'll see there's one with a picture of the Mylar penis. And really, it was a number one for my birthday, balloon where it's significant in size. Some rich-ass fucker in the UK probably purchased this for their spoiled kid. But it was huge. But it was all misshaped, right? Because it was pretty high altitude, so it looked like a flying penis. Silver one. Like if Silver Surfer became a eunuch, like someone, like Thor or someone cut off his penis, and it was flying through the sky. I'm trying to give you the best visual I can. But ever since then, I wasn't able to let go of that. I wasn't able to let go of Christopher Mellon standing in front of the silver penis and saying it's alien technology. I'm sure Chris could do that himself now with a little bit of paint. But he says, listen, this is what he's saying now. It's got to make up for years. Try to make up for that craziness. Now, just to say that they did blame the people who put the presentation together for not knowing that Super Phallus was really a debunked UFO that had been debunked well over a year before that presentation ever happened. So, what can you do? The lowest man on the totem pole got shitted on because Christopher Mellon did not look at the flying penis. He didn't make eye contact with it, which is it's acceptable, right? It's okay. Anyway, so Christopher Mellon in this article, which I took you all the way around the history of me and Chris, is he say, listen, you gotta just look at this. Look at the fact that it can only be aliens. Here's a quote from Chris. Reports submitted to the Director of National Intelligence said that they see no evidence that it's from a foreign government. None of the instances of 144 identified could be explained by the U.S. classified resource programs. So that leaves you wondering then what hypothesis best fits the fact, and frankly, the alien hypothesis fits the facts. So he's referring to the UAP report. Like they literally could not tell you out of those reports what the hell it was. But they couldn't rule anything out either. So he say, hey, if they literally cannot tell you that it is an adversary, a foreign adversary, then guess what? 143 of those 144 more than likely is alien. This is why he's retired, by the way. Yeah, he's not in office anymore. I mean, he joined through the Star Academy, and actually he quit. I think he quit last year, right after our buddy Louis Elizondo, I guess. Mellon also says that the government, including the Air Force, did not seem to know how to address the rising interest from lawmakers and the public, which the public has been there for the longest, regarding so-called UAPs. And he says that the sudden interest in over a half a century of disinterest on the part of the American people and the American public has created a sudden surge now in interest from Congress that is making it really awkward for not only Congress but also for these agencies to try to figure out who should say what and what they should say. He's right about that. I mean, this is like they're running scared. They're trying to figure out how they're going to lie about it. They're making all these new agencies and departments. Basically, they're taking that red tape and they are doing it in triplicate. So that by the time we get wind of real information regarding UFOs from the government, we're already a good 20, 30 years down the line from all the red tape. Hopefully that's not the way it pans out. But according to Chris Mellon, the fact that the Air Force really is kind of silent about all of this and all these other government agencies are kind of hush-hush because they don't know what to say, it tells you that all of the spy game, all the money they've spent investigating all these other adversaries in our global stage, that all these people they've been investigating have not shown a single iota of having this kind of technology. So they're like bewildered, man. They're like deer in headlights. In addition to that, I actually was watching the video before the podcast, and it was a former Air Force officer who was talking about the Tic Tac incident. And he is under the impression, from what he saw, I don't know how he got this. Well, no, I do. It's one of the conspiracies, one of the theories about the Tic Tac. He is under the impression that, folks like Chris Mellon and Louis Elizondo are co-conspirators in bringing us presenting a lie to the public. That they were brought together in telling this Tic Tac story in order to hide advanced technologies. That what happened to Commander Fravor was nothing but a test of advanced vehicles that somebody is keeping hush-hush. And the fact that Chris Mellon and Louis Elizondo came together to present this to the public was just a way of ensuring that these vehicles remain secret and that the blame can be placed somewhere else, even if it means freaking aliens. And, one of the funny things this individual stated was that if you look at the government and its constant monitoring of what Russia does, constant monitoring of what China does, there is no damn way on this planet. There is no way, with all technology and the money that's spent on spying on those two countries, that the U.S. government would not know if these guys have any kind of advanced vehicles the way they do. So, hey, it is what it is. Well, I have to dive a little bit more into this individual because he kept on calling Louis Elizondo Lou Alejandro. So, I don't know. Not sure how well informed he is. As always, don't forget to like, share, and tell your mama, your dada, your papa, your sister, and your dog if you need to about the podcast. And share it live, share it all the time. I'll be back on Wednesday. I'm sure the stories are going to be just as crazy as today, but I appreciate every single one of you. And until then, ciao.
I've been wasting my time. I don't know why I can't get you out my mind. Yeah, so lost, where do I go? I was in the chase, caught a flat on road. It was all love, X no O. I was feeling rich, but we turned out broke. Guess I let my feelings take control. Guess I let my demon take the wheel. Used to think that we be growing old. I can't believe that it was real. It was back in late December when I did it. I just wish I could forget. Cause I hate how much I love it. Oh, I hate how I just love to catch a feel. Yeah, I've been wasting my time. I don't know why I can't get you out my mind. If I find a way to get it, when I do it, I can live it and forget it. Cause I hate how much I love you, or I hate how you just put me in my feelings. Guess I let my feelings take control. Guess I let my demon take the wheel. Used to think that we be growing old. Now I can't believe that it was real. Guess I let my feelings take control. Guess I let my demon take the wheel. Used to think that we be growing old. Now I can't believe that it was real. Guess I let my feelings take control. Guess I let my demon take the wheel. Used to think that we be growing old. I can't believe that it was real. I've been wasting my time. I don't know why I can't get you out my mind. I've been wasting my time. I don't know why I can't get you out my mind. Guess I let my demon take the wheel. Used to think that we be growing old. Now I can't.
Today is the beginning of the end and the start of a new beginning. Time has come to refine yourself and let go of the demons in your head that have held you in captivity for so long. It's time to flip the page and prove them wrong. It's time for rebirth. Yeah, time is up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will be free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you are the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself